Ubangiji ya albarkaci jihar Taraba da walwalcin ƙasar noma ga kuma ɗimbin albarkatun ƙasa bila adadin. Sai dai irin waɗannan dukkanin abinda Ubangiji ya samar domin samar da kyakkyawar fata ga jihar ta Taraba, ana samun wasu munanan ɗabi'u na sare dazuzzuka da tone-tonen ramumuka domin ɗebo albarkatun ƙasan, da hakan ke matukar barazana ga muhalli da kuma al'ummar da cikin Taraba da ma dabbobi da suke cikinta. Wannan ko na iya lalata dukkan wani tsari ko dabaru da aka samar domin kyautata rayuwar bil'adama da mara dabbobi. Wannan illar na dada tozartawa da kuma lalata dukkanin wurare da ake da su, ga lalata ruwa da muhalli da ke zama barazana ga rayuwar dabbobi na cikin ruwa da kuma na tudu da ma jama'a da ke kan wannan. Hakan na iya zama kuma wani abin da ke iya lalata kyakkyawar fata da ake da ita na kyautata rayuwar al'umma musamman da yara da ma dabbobi. A irin wannan ne gwamnatin jihar Taraba gargashin Dr. Abu Kefo ta samar da wata wani kwamiti mai karfin fada aji da doka ta baiwa dama ya tabbatar da cewa ya takaita ayyukan saran dazuzzuka da tone-tone albarkatun ƙasa ba bisa ka'ida ba. Bisa wannan ne kuma wannan kwamiti ya tashi haikan domin tabbatar da an bi doka da aka zayyana na tabbatar da kare dazuzzuka da sauran albarkatun ƙasa da ubangiji albarkaci wannan jiha da ita, domin samarwa matasa da kuma iyalai aikin yi idan aka bi ka'ida wurin bin matakai da za su dace da yadda ake tono albarkacin ƙasa da kuma sare dazuzzuka a bisa ka'ida, wanda hakan zai iya taimakawa ci gaba da kuma bunƙasa rayuwar jama'a da kuma fitar da Tarabar a idon duniya. A bisa wannan ake yin kira ta musamman ga al'ummar jihar Taraba da su tabbatar da cewa sun bi tsari da dabaru da aka tanadar. Ana kuma kira da amfani da sarakunan gargajiya da maluman addini da sauran jagororin al'umma da suke da alhakin kula da irin waɗannan al'ummomi da kuma ke zama tare da tabbatar da sun sanya ido sosai wurin ganin an kawar da dukkan wani kalubale da muhalli ke fuskanta. Ana kuma kira nan take ga sarakunan gargajiya da maluma na addini da su waro al'umma kai, musamman waɗanda suke jagoranta, domin nuna musu matukar illa da waɗannan sare-saren dazuzzuka da tono albarkatun ƙasa ba bisa ƙa'ida ba suke yi, kuma su ilmantar da jama'a domin amfanin su wadda mara misaltuwa ne. Ana kuma ƙarfafa musu gwiwa da cewa duk lokacin da suka ga wani aiki da ya shafi irin wannan mummunan aiki da su handarsa samar da hukumomi ta yin amfani da wannan layi 0806608102. 'Yan Taraba a haɗa hannu tare domin tabbatar da an tsirar da jihar kuma an kawar da tsarin na tono albarkatun ƙasa da sare-saren dazuzzuka ba bisa ƙa'ida ba, domin ɗorewar ci gaban jihar Taraban da kuma samar da albarkatunta da moriyarta ga dukkanin al'umma. Wannan sako ne da ya fito daga hukumar nan da take sanya ido da hana sare dazuzzuka ba bisa ƙa'ida ba.
Welcome to World News on SOM TV, your reliable avenue to news coverage. Stay connected with us on Facebook at SOM TV and catch every moment live on YouTube at SOM TV Live. I am Moses Peter, and now the top stories making headlines. Gaza Water Company resumes operations after Hamas releases detained employee. Trump administration fails to delay congressional votes on Epstein files. U.S. Congress to hold hearing on Nigeria's redesignation as country of particular concern. Now the news in full. A Gaza Water Company serving over 1 million people resumed operations after Hamas released a detained employee. Abdusalam Yassin Company confirmed the staffer was unharmed, citing a misunderstanding. With much of Gaza's water infrastructure damaged and reliant on limited electricity and fuel, the company's services remain critical for residents amid post-ceasefire recovery, highlighting ongoing humanitarian challenges despite political tensions and infrastructural vulnerabilities in the enclave. President Trump's administration attempted to delay a congressional vote on releasing Jeffrey Epstein's files, but failed. Both the Republican-controlled House and Senate approved the measure, which Trump has pledged to sign. White House aides at sought amendments, citing concerns that Epstein coverage would distract from administration priorities. The vote exposed limits to Trump's influence over congressional Republicans amid public scrutiny over Epstein's death and lingering questions about political and criminal accountability. The U.S. Congress will hold a public hearing on November 20th regarding President Trump's redesignation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern over alleged Christian persecution. Sanctions or aid restrictions may follow. Nigerian officials, religious leaders, and rights advocates will testify. President Tinubu rejects the claims, while the Vatican and U.S. lawmakers have expressed concern about rising violence. The hearing could affect diplomatic relations and aid flows between the two nations. Tensions rose after Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takahashi suggested military intervention if China threatened Taiwan. Beijing summoned Japan's ambassador, warned citizens against travel, and may ban all Japanese seafood imports, triggering economic fallout for nearly 700 exporters. Japan urged its citizens in China to exercise caution. Diplomatic efforts continue as officials arrive in Beijing. Tourism, cultural exchanges, and entertainment industries face disruption, while online commentary inflames public sentiment across both countries. Overnight, Russian missile and drone strikes in Ternopil killed 19 and wounded 66, targeting residential, energy, and transport infrastructure. Over 470 drones and 48 missiles were launched, causing emergency power cuts amid freezing temperatures. President Zelensky urged allies to increase pressure on Russia, including air defense support. Poland temporarily closed airports and scrambled aircraft to protect its airspace, illustrating the ongoing intensity of Russia's assault and the vulnerability of western Ukrainian regions. Russian forces are advancing toward Hulapol, 4 kilometers from the front line, seizing villages en route. Civilians flee, leaving mostly elderly residents behind. The town faces nightly attacks from glide bombs and drones that bypass Ukrainian defenses. Analysts warn the city could fall quickly, marking a strategic setback and moral loss for Ukraine. Slow command responses and deep Russian breakthroughs heighten fears of further territorial vulnerability in southeastern Ukraine. The UAE has agreed to seize around 40 Dubai properties suspected of links to drug trafficking in France, French Justice Minister Darmanin announced. Purchased with cash or cryptocurrencies, the properties form part of broader international cooperation. France extradited 14 major traffickers this year and requested 15 more. Officials emphasized preventing criminals from benefiting from illicit wealth, demonstrating intensified Franco-UAE collaboration to combat organized drug crime and related financial networks. More than 30 people are on trial over a nightclub fire in Kozheny, North Macedonia that killed 63 and injured 170. The blaze, triggered by flares during a performance, exposed the club's lack of proper licensing, fire exits, and extinguishers. 35 individuals and 3 legal entities, including the owner, security, construction companies, and public officials, face jail terms of 10 years to life. Families attended court demanding transparency and justice. Germany hosted 2 major summits in Berlin on November 18, focusing on digital sovereignty and European security. Leaders, including Chancellor Merkel and President Macron, discussed reducing reliance on foreign tech firms in cloud, AI, and data. The Berlin Security Conference convened over 140 defense experts to strengthen military capabilities amid threats, including Russia. Concurrently, cultural news included Bach archive confirmations and a 12-year-old Bochum girl critically wounded in a police incident. At the 2025 Sustainable Gambling Conference in Brussels, FDJ United CEO Stephanie Palens called for responsible industry practices amid rising AI use and illegal gaming. She emphasized education, early intervention, and consumer awareness to protect minors and ensure transparent operations. Palens urged collaboration between regulators, licensed operators, and society, highlighting the need for sustainable and accountable gaming, reinforcing European commitments during Safer Gambling Week to safeguard consumers and support ethical practices. In New Delhi, a suspect accused of involvement in a deadly car bombing was brought to court ahead of hearings. Authorities alleged he played a role in planning or facilitating the attack. The case involving two other accused men raises ongoing security concerns in the capital. Court proceedings are being closely monitored by law enforcement and the public as authorities seek accountability and aim to prevent further attacks amid heightened urban security measures. Brazil's central bank halted mid-sized lender Banco Master, appointing a liquidator and liquidity pressures. Controlling shareholder Daniel Vucaru was arrested over alleged fraudulent credit securities. The bank had expanded rapidly using high-yield debt. Liquidation ensures investor protection up to insured limit, while regulators stabilize the financial system. Authorities aim to prevent further disruptions in Brazil's banking sector, highlighting ongoing risks in mid-sized lenders and the need for robust oversight in emerging market finance. The New South Wales Nationals elected Gurmeet Singh as leader, while the Liberal Party may replace Mark Speakman with Kellen Sloan. Polls show only 1/3 of Australians support the coalition. Climate change and energy policy are central voter concerns. Singh emphasizes renewable energy management and rising costs, reflecting challenges in balancing economic and environmental priorities. The leadership changes highlight pressures on coalition unity ahead of upcoming elections and policy negotiations in the state. South Korea agreed to join the UAE in the US-backed Stargate AI Data Center project, creating a large AI campus in the Gulf. President Lee Jae-myung's visit facilitated partnerships with Samsung, SK Hynix, OpenAI, Oracle, NVIDIA, Cisco, and SoftBank. The initiative strengthens AI infrastructure, research, supply chains, and investments, reflecting growing cooperation in cutting-edge technology between East Asia, the Middle East, and the US, with strategic economic and technological implications. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman visited Washington to meet President Trump, discussing security, weapons deals, trade, AI, and civilian nuclear energy. Talks may include Saudi participation in the Abraham Accords and multi-billion-dollar arms sales, including F-35 jets. The visit underscores US-Saudi strategic cooperation and regional diplomacy while shaping Middle East security policies, investment flows, and collaboration on technology and defense projects, reinforcing bilateral and multilateral strategic agendas. Hamas and Palestinian factions rejected a U.S. Security Council resolution backing Trump's Gaza plan, citing unmet political and humanitarian demands. The resolution approves a U.S.-backed ceasefire and international stabilization force deployment. Israeli opposition and Russia criticized the measure, while Germany, Indonesia, and the UK welcomed it. The response underscores divisions over Gaza's reconstruction, security, and peace efforts, reflecting complex regional politics and challenges in achieving consensus on humanitarian interventions. Turkey authorized its Abuja embassy to issue visas directly to Nigerian business travelers, bypassing Ankara approval to enhance economic ties. Ambassador Mehmet Poroy confirmed the move during a visit with FCT Minister Wike. A new Turkish consulate general will open in Lagos. The initiative facilitates business contacts, promotes investment, and supports legitimate economic activities, reflecting strengthened bilateral trade relations and Turkey's commitment to simplifying procedures for business engagements in West Africa. South Africa will host the G20 Social Summit from November 18 to 20, 2025 in Ekurhuleni, focusing on solidarity, equality, and sustainability. Youth, women, faith groups, persons with disabilities, and civil society are engaged in shaping inclusive outcomes. Co-conveners Kombuso Nshahevni and Puzili Lambo Nkuka will oversee stakeholder input, culminating in a G20 social declaration reflecting Africa-focused priorities. The summit aims to strengthen social inclusion and sustainable development within the global G20 agenda. Egypt NEA cancelled the first phase of the 2025 parliamentary elections for individual seats in 19 constituencies across 7 governorates due to detected violations. NEA head Hazim Bandawi announced new election dates which will follow review. President El-Sisi emphasized accurate electoral processes. Nationwide, 88 appeals were received, affecting 34 districts. The move reflects efforts to safeguard voter rights and maintain confidence in Egypt's democratic procedures amid scrutiny of electoral conduct. President Trump indicated U.S. military strikes against Latin American drug cartels may extend to Mexico, citing hundreds of thousands of drug-related deaths. At least 20 strikes on drug transporting boats have occurred. Experts warn limited impact due to powerful organized Mexican cartels and complex legal diplomatic constraints. The policy highlights U.S. willingness to project military force in the region while exposing challenges in addressing transnational organized crime and protecting border security. We are heading into a short commercial break. Please stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
Africa, a land of growth, rhythm, and resilience.
Where every thread of the fabric tells a story.
Every beat of the drum echoes heritage.
And every voice carries the soul of generation.
We are Africa, bold, beautiful, and timeless. At Some TV, we don't just tell African stories.
We celebrate it in every color, sound, and tradition.
From the past that shaped us
to the future we proudly define.
Some TV, Africa, seen, heard, celebrated. Some TV, Pulse of the Nation.
Welcome back. We are glad you are still with us. Moving on, Italian lawmakers proposed officially recognizing the Bank of Italy's $300 billion gold reserves as state property. The bullion hedges risks and remains the world's third largest stockpile. Critics warn of EU rule violations over central bank independence. The budget amendment aims to bolster national finances and potentially reduce debt. The proposal raises legal and political questions about Italy's economic sovereignty and adherence to EU financial governance frameworks, prompting debate in Parliament. Spain will announce a substantial aid package for Ukraine during President Zelensky's Madrid visit to strengthen air defenses amid rising Russian attacks. Zelensky met with Spanish defense executives and will meet PM Pedro Sanchez and King Felipe. The visit follows trips to Greece and France, preceding Turkey peace talks. Spain reinforces NATO obligations and European support for Ukraine, contributing to security, military readiness, and international solidarity against Russian aggression in the ongoing conflict. On November 18, Japan's PM Takachi received Indonesia's Foreign Minister Sugiono and Defense Minister, highlighting ongoing diplomatic and defense cooperation. The meeting emphasized strategic dialogue and regional partnerships in East Asia, reflecting mutual interest in foreign affairs, security, and bilateral collaboration. Engagement underscores the importance of maintaining strong regional alliances, fostering stability, and reinforcing coordination on economic, defense, and geopolitical issues between Japan and Southeast Asia. Iran's youth marked the 6th anniversary of the November 2019 uprising, commemorating 1,500 martyrs and conducting 24 operations against regime centers. Political prisoners faced executions and harsh sentences, while oil workers protested unpaid wages. Deputy FM Khatizadeh asserted the nuclear program remains untouched. The events highlight ongoing social unrest, government repression, and tensions between citizens and authorities, reflecting deep-rooted grievances and the regime's concern over potential destabilization from continued public dissent. The edition of The World News on Some TV has concluded. Stay connected for more updates and exclusive programs on Some TV. Follow us on Facebook at Some TV and subscribe to YouTube at Some TV Live. I am Moses Peter, wishing you the best.